In the late summer of 480 BC, the ancient world witnessed a pivotal clash between two formidable forces, Greece and Persia. This was not merely a battle for territory, but a struggle that would define the course of Western civilization. At the heart of this conflict stood King Xerxes of Persia, whose vast empire spanned from India to Ethiopia, commanding an army rumored to be over 1 million strong. Opposing him were the Greek city-states united under the leadership of Sparta, renowned for its military prowess and disciplined warriors. The Persian invasion was fueled by a desire to expand their already colossal empire and to punish Athens for supporting the Ionian Revolt, a rebellion against Persian rule in Asia Minor. As the Persian forces swept through northern Greece, the Greeks knew they had to act swiftly to halt the advance. A strategic decision was made to block the Persian path at Thermopylae, a narrow pass between the mountains and the sea, which would negate the numerical advantage of the Persian army. King Leonidas of Sparta emerged as the leader of this defensive effort. Renowned for his bravery and tactical acumen, Leonidas was chosen to lead the combined Greek forces. His mission was clear yet daunting: hold the pass long enough to allow the other Greek city-states to prepare their defenses. Accompanying him were approximately 7,000 men, including 300 Spartans, who were not just soldiers, but elite warriors trained from childhood in the art of war. This small force was tasked with an almost impossible mission, setting the stage for one of history's most legendary battles. Thermopylae, known as the Hot Gates, presented a unique geographical advantage that made it an ideal location for the Greeks to make their stand. The pass was extremely narrow, hemmed in by steep cliffs on one side and the Gulf of Malea on the other, significantly reducing the space where combat could occur. This natural bottleneck meant that despite their overwhelming numbers, the Persian forces could only engage in small numbers at any given time, thus neutralizing their numerical superiority. The Greek strategy was straightforward, yet ingenious. By choosing this choke point, they forced the massive Persian army into a series of frontal assaults where the dense phalanx formations of the Greek hoplites could maximize their defensive capabilities. Each soldier, equipped with a large shield, hoplon, and a spear, was protected by the overlapping shields of his comrades, forming an impenetrable wall of bronze. This formation allowed the Greeks to withstand wave after wave of Persian attacks, turning what should have been a swift victory for Xerxes into a grueling stalemate. Moreover, the terrain offered additional defensive benefits. The steep cliffs provided high ground from which the Greeks could launch counterattacks or retreat if necessary, while the sea allowed for potential naval support and supply lines. These geographical features were crucial in bolstering the morale of the Greek forces, who were vastly outnumbered but fought with the confidence that their position could withstand the onslaught. Thus, the choice of Thermopylae was not merely a defensive measure, but a calculated strategy to leverage the environment against a numerically superior foe. At the core of the Greek defense were the 300 Spartans, each a product of Sparta's rigorous and unforgiving warrior culture. From birth, Spartan boys were subjected to the agog, a brutal system of education and training designed to forge them into the ultimate soldiers. Only those deemed physically fit survived infancy, and from the age of 7, boys were taken from their families to live in communal barracks, enduring harsh physical conditioning, survival training, and combat drills. By adulthood, these warriors were not just skilled fighters, but embodiments of discipline, loyalty, and unyielding resolve. Their reputation preceded them, striking fear into enemies and earning admiration from allies. The Spartans' role in the Battle of Thermopylae was both symbolic and practical. While they constituted only a fraction of the Greek forces, their presence elevated the morale of the entire coalition. Under King Leonidas, the Spartans formed the backbone of the defense, anchoring the Greek line with their famed phalanx formation. Their unwavering commitment to duty was evident when Leonidas handpicked 300 of his finest warriors, knowing full well that this mission was likely suicidal. These men were not merely soldiers, they were fathers, husbands, and leaders within their community, bound by an oath to defend Sparta and Greece at all costs. Their sacrifice became a rallying cry for unity among the Greek city-states, demonstrating that even in the face of overwhelming odds, courage and honor could inspire greatness. As dawn broke on the first day of the Battle of Thermopylae, the air was thick with tension. The Persian forces, led by King Xerxes himself, advanced toward the narrow pass, expecting a swift victory. However, the Greeks, fortified by the Spartans' indomitable spirit, stood resolute. The initial Persian assault was met with fierce resistance as the Greek hoplites, armed with spears and shields, formed an impenetrable phalanx. The narrow confines of Thermopylae rendered the Persians' numerical advantage useless, forcing them into disorganized charges that were repeatedly repelled. By the end of the day, the Persian losses were staggering. While the Greeks remained largely unscathed, their morale soaring. On the second day, Xerxes, frustrated by the unexpected resilience of the Greeks, deployed his elite immortals, a fearsome unit of 10,000 soldiers renowned for their skill and discipline. Yet even these warriors, clad in ornate armor and wielding deadly weapons, could not break the Greek line. The Spartans, under Leonidas's command, executed precise maneuvers, using the terrain to their advantage. They feigned retreats to lure the Persians into vulnerable positions before counterattacking with devastating efficiency. The immortals, accustomed to overwhelming their foes, found themselves outmaneuvered and demoralized, further cementing the legend of Spartan prowess. By the third day, the tide began to turn due to betrayal. A local Greek named Ephialtes revealed a hidden mountain path to the Persians, allowing them to flank the Greek position. Realizing their doom was imminent, Leonidas ordered the majority of the Greek forces to retreat, preserving their strength for future battles. He and his 300 Spartans, along with a contingent of Thespians and Thebans, chose to remain behind, determined to fight to the last man. In a final, desperate stand, they held off the Persian onslaught, buying precious time for their allies. Though ultimately overwhelmed, their sacrifice became immortalized as a testament to courage and defiance against tyranny. The fall of Thermopylae marked a significant, albeit temporary, victory for the Persians, but the repercussions of the battle resonated far beyond the battlefield. Although the Greeks were eventually forced to retreat, the valiant stand of the 300 Spartans and their allies inflicted substantial losses on the Persian army, delaying Xerxes' advance and providing critical time for the Greek city-states to regroup and fortify their defenses. This delay proved instrumental in the subsequent Greek victories at Salamis and Plataea, which decisively turned the tide of the Greco-Persian wars in favor of the Greeks. The impact of Thermopylae extended beyond immediate military outcomes. It galvanized Greek unity and resolve. The heroic sacrifice of Leonidas and his men became a symbol of resistance against overwhelming odds, inspiring not only contemporary Greeks but also future generations. Stories of their bravery circulated widely, reinforcing ideals of courage, sacrifice, and civic duty that became central to Greek cultural identity. Moreover, The battle underscored the effectiveness of disciplined, well-trained troops over sheer numbers, influencing military strategies for centuries. Thermopylae's legacy is perhaps most evident in its enduring influence on Western thought and art. The narrative of 300 Spartans holding the line against a vast invading force has been retold countless times, from ancient texts to modern films like 300. These retellings, while often dramatized, continue to captivate audiences, highlighting themes of heroism and freedom that resonate universally. Thus, the story of Thermopylae remains not just a historical event, but a timeless emblem of human endurance and valor. The tale of the 300 Spartans at Thermopylae transcends its historical roots, embedding itself deeply into the fabric of global culture and consciousness.